The Chesco Show. The Chesco Show.
All right, what's up, everybody? This week we have an amazing guest, Raphael Christian-Roy, who is from Montreal, who is my friend, and who grew up like 6 houses from mine.
Yeah, a street away.
Yeah, exactly. Raph is, I would describe him as a serial entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and someone who has big dreams. And I want to talk about like your story, how you did all the things you did, and how you ended up doing all the things you did. So, if I remember correctly, before you finished high school, you started 2 businesses.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true,
I did.
right?
Yeah, I had a bunch of weird businesses because yes, you're first of all, thanks for the intro. Serial entrepreneur, I don't know, but I definitely like to start companies. That's for sure. Now I would consider myself in technology. Yes, an investor. I spent the past 8 years as an investor. But before all of that and before university, I had like weird businesses. Like I had a window cleaning business around Montreal. I had a mechanical garage for a while, which was not a great idea, which was kind of a fail in some regards.
What age were you during that time?
Because all of that was before, so it was before CJEP, which we have here in
17,
Canada.
18.
Yeah, so like 18 years old, around that. But it was weird because also during those years I was also manager of 2 restaurants. So it was a mix of doing that, the restaurant industry, then starting those businesses, then realizing that tech was kind of cool, that I like computers and all of that, and then going to university in computer science and all of that. So
Were you sleeping sometimes?
I was not. So that's interesting
That's
question.
something, yeah, because I sleep a lot. And I remember, so we went to the same elementary school, but we never really talked to each other because you were a year younger.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then we went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Same thing. We never met. We're a year younger. And we might actually have taken the same bus to go to school. But like,
I'm assuming, yes, because you were
we live
legit
so
the
close,
street
so-
behind me.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously like high school and all of that. I mean, we all knew about you because you had a twin brother.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Which is, so it's like, oh, the twin brothers that are like one.
Yeah, if you're a twin in high school,
He still
everybody
has it,
knows
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of knew, but yeah, you're right. It was 1 year younger. And yeah, but I think high school, we must have been on the same bus.
But what about the sleeping part?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
curious.
coming
the
to
sleeping.
that. So, and then, so we never actually like talked to each other
No.
until I met you. I think it was 2017 or something.
Yeah.
And we were both at university.
Yeah.
I was studying mechanical engineering.
Exactly.
We were studying electrical engineering, software engineering.
Yeah.
And then I remember I met you and you told me you were sleeping like 5 hours a day.
It was less than that, actually. So, okay, so
4 hours?
to answer your question, when I was younger, I was sleeping. But yeah, I never really slept much. To be honest, COVID taught me to sleep, which now I'm enjoying at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But during university and all of that, I think I was sleeping maybe 3-4 hours a night, which like I took so much weight. It was not the ideal. I do not recommend it.
How did you do it? Like, cause
I don't know.
I sleep 10 hours a day. If I
That's good.
sleep like 8 hours, I feel shitty and my brain is not functioning properly.
So the way because I realized really early on, and I think it comes from my parents, because they don't like they go to bed super late. Like my mom, when I was younger, my mom would go to bed 1 a.m. and my father like 2 or 3 in the morning. If it's not like
Because your dad is an entrepreneur as well.
Yes, exactly. So I grew up into all of that. But anyway, to answer your question, one thing that I've realized really early on is that everyone needs sleep. Like I needed to sleep. Like if I was trying to sleep, I would sleep. But the only difference between like me or someone else is that I was able to function during the day with almost no sleep. So I guess that's the difference, is that I was tired, but I was able to function. A lot of coffee as well, to be honest with you, and a lot of adrenaline by all of the things that I was doing. But yeah, no, now I realize that I was young and stupid, and like it's quite funny because now I'm almost 30 years old, and I don't know if it's because of COVID, but like now below, like if I'm not sleeping at least 6 hours per night, like I don't feel great.
That's
like,
a nap for me.
That's
I
a nap.
I nap
Okay.
five.
Okay, you two
Audrey
sleep a
is
lot.
like
Nice.
a lion. You know, lions, they sleep like 18 hours.
yeah,
a day.
yeah, more than that. No, is it not like 22 and 24 that they
Maybe,
sleep?
maybe.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's
I
it's
just,
a lot. It's a
but-
lot.
It's hypersomnia in that case.
Oh,
Yeah, because
is that a thing? Like,
I have insomnia and hypersomnia, so I don't sleep sometimes
oh
for
shit,
a long
that's hard.
time, and then I sleep all the time.
So that's probably my worst fear in the world is that all my life and still to this day, when I go to bed, like I could just put my head on the table and I would sleep like in maybe like 10 minutes max.
That's
The
my
first time I met
biggest
you,
dream.
that's what you told me.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like,
and
if
there's a
I-
bunch of pictures of me in university like sleeping on like in computer labs and things like that. But the point I was trying to make is that like recently, like this summer, I had a concussion, and one of the symptoms of having a
no.
concussion is that you do insomnia. And it was for the first time in my life.
Wait,
it
how
would
did you
take me
get the concussion?
stupid.
I think you
mistake.
told me, but
Yeah, I
forgot.
told you it was my birthday. We were, I was drunk. My birthday, my head like just fell on something hard. I didn't realize it, but like during the night, anyway, I had like a concussion, but it was not like that bad, and didn't go to the
Okay,
hospital.
thank
But
God.
like maybe like 8 hours after the concussion, I ended up like vomiting a lot, and I didn't
Oh,
know what it
shit.
was. Initially, I thought it was the alcohol, but then no alcohol. Anyway, long story short, I had a small concussion, and
It must be kind of big because you were vomiting.
yeah, I guess so. But
Dude, that's the.
But you're
must be
okay
a
now?
real
I'm okay, I'm okay.
Because some people never.
I know, but that's the thing,
Recuperate.
because it took me, because I think I did one like a year or so ago where like in the same day I was okay, and apparently it just gets worse and worse. And this one, it took me like a week where one of the symptoms is insomnia. The other one is that you can't look at a screen more
Yes.
than like 30 minutes in a row.
Oh no!
I work with my computer 20 hours a day, so
So-
it was not working. So like, and it's stupid because you look at the screen, and what happens is that your brain start to swallow, like, and it's just, you
It's
base,
worse.
yeah, and it's basically just like you have a big headache. So every 30 minutes I would need like to do nothing because you can't like, I don't know, when I try to do something else than work, I'll like watch Netflix or like, you know,
Be on your
so now
phone.
be on my phone or something. So now it would just be like on the sofa doing nothing.
and
but
you
anyway.
can't sleep.
No, that's the thing. But that's what I was about to say is that it was the first time in my life that I would go to bed, and it's weird because you close your eyes and you see like flashing lights. So I wasn't able, and I had insomnia. And what I was trying to say is that it was the first time that it was happening, and it was almost my worst nightmare. Like I empathize with you that has insomnia.
fine.
It's not easy.
I know a guy who got a concussion from playing hockey,
Mm.
and he was a day trader. So you know, he spent
Wow.
all his life, all his days in front of a computer screen, and for like 2 years he couldn't work.
Shit.
Yeah,
But that's the thing, because I Googled the whole thing, which was a bad idea because I saw all of those examples like you're done, you won't be able to work for like 2 years and all. And so I was quite worried that it would never come back. But what ended up happening is that the next weekend I had like a fishing trip, which was perfect because it was away from screen, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So I think it probably saved me in a way that I spent 5 days in the woods.
yeah.
So when I came back, I was like fully okay, like I was able to work and all. But I don't know.
But I
it's
don't know
hard.
how your fishing trips are, but I do a few fishing trips now and then, and mine are filled with alcohol.
Yeah, so that's the thing as well. It wasn't. I don't think that we can talk about it here, but it was. Yeah, it was with one like a bunch of people actually that went to the same primary school than us.
Oh yeah,
And it was stupid, and like we fished more beers than fish. So,
oh,
but it was
that's
great.
crazy.
Yeah.
And wow, and so I think I forgot to mention one really amazing thing you did is you actually created a VC fund.
Yeah.
That's led by students.
Yeah.
And it's the first thing of this kind ever in
Canada, yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
There's the same business model in the United States.
Yeah.
And you want to talk more about this?
Yeah.
Because I think that's how that's how we actually met after like
That's
all
how
those
we
years.
became closer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because you were you were part of the first team that I recruited to be investing in all those their startups in university when you were still studying. Yeah, but okay, so let me maybe wrap up a bit and explain for everyone here. So the concept is that nobody in Canada was investing in technologies or startups that are spinning out of university labs. For most people might say like, okay, but why would you want to invest there? And basically, when you look at all the biggest tech companies in the world, Facebook, Google, Snapchat, Dropbox, Yahoo, Dell, like all of those companies were created on university campuses, in the labs, in the dorm rooms.
The garages.
Yeah, exactly, in the garages. And so, and I saw this model that was proven in the US when I came back, when I was studying there. When I came back to Canada, one of the things that I realized is like, wait, like we have amazing universities, we have amazing labs, amazing technologies are creating here, but nobody's investing in them. Nobody's allowing those entrepreneurs to build real businesses. So that's the VC firm that we created, which is called Front Row Ventures, is focusing on that. And you're right, when we started in 2015, 16, around those years, we were the only one to invest on university campuses in the country. And now there's more people investing, but yeah, no, it's definitely one of the things that I'm the proudest that I've done in my career is that completely changed the way that startups and entrepreneurship is done in Canada, because now technologies that are creating on university labs can be financed. So it's quite cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it.
And there's so many like talented, smart people in universities, especially in Canada. I mean, in every country, but also in Canada. And it's really nice that now these people can start companies and they have this help that they can get. And
Exactly.
it's not only like financial help, but it's also like you can help businesses with every part of the every aspect of the business.
Exactly. And I think that's also like the strength of the model is that not only we're able to give money to those entrepreneurs so they can build businesses around the technology they've created in their university lab, but we've built investment teams. So like people like you were, that are students, that are on campus, that are looking for those entrepreneurs, working with them, that are in the same dorm rooms, the same libraries, the same cafes, the same bars. And what this model creates, it really creates like a proximity with your investor, with the person that invests in your company. And hopefully this is allowing you to build your company and really helping you building it, which is kind of hard to do in the tech world, as you know.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I don't think I would be where I am today if I hadn't met you and if I hadn't joined Front Row Ventures as
That's nice. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. No, it's true because like I learned every aspect of business just by being part of this team and looking at other startups, and just getting involved with other businesses, meeting founders, seeing where they fail and what makes them successful. And so, man, I'm so grateful. And like, because I'm an artist, Audrey is an artist too.
Yeah.
And so the first 3 guests we got on the podcast, they were all artists in their own way. And so you're the first one that's not an artist. And Audrey was like, I'm not sure we should get a non-artist. And I'm like,
not true.
No,
but I said the same thing. I actually said the same thing to him because I was like, wait, you've received all of those artists. And there's a lot of parallel that can be traced between like an artist and an entrepreneur because what you're doing
if you're
is
an artist,
hard.
you're a one-person business.
Exactly.
You have to
You're
do
completely
everything.
right.
Marketing, PR, send emails, leads,
and finding
sales, everything.
And being successful as an artist, both of you will know that you need to find your, what we call in tech, product market fit. So you find you have the right product for the right market that you sell to those people, you generate revenues, you generate profit from that. It's the same concept for you guys is that, and Matt, like, cause I followed you really early on in your journey, is that you found your product market fit with those videos on TikTok. You found your audience, you found the people that loved it. And I think that that's exactly what any business that we invest in needs to do. But I said the same thing as you, Audrey. I was like, do you really want me on the podcast? Because I'm not that creative.
But it's our podcast. We do whatever we want.
You inspire Matt a lot. I can say that.
It's really nice for you to say that. No, but it's interesting because you know what, like it's such like an unusual thing for us because we looked at you, we saw you when you were at university. You had big dreams, you wanted to achieve things, but I don't think that we ever knew that you dreamed of being a full-time artist back then.
Me neither, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I remember and it's funny because I was talking with my co-founder of that fund. I was talking about you the other day, and we remember the day where we were all dinner with the rest of the team, and you were like, "Yeah, guys, I'm leaving for Vancouver," and we were all in Montreal at that time, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm leaving for Vancouver. I need to decide what I want to do. I need to focus on things that I like." And I don't think that at that point we knew that it meant art.
Yeah.
But when the more and more you were like becoming you there, when you came back, it was clear to us like, oh shit, like he fully became who he wanted to become
But
there.
you know what the crazy thing is? So I finished my bachelor's degree. I worked as an engineer for 4 days. Then I quit.
Yeah.
And when I quit, I just knew I didn't want to be an engineer.
Yeah.
So I started working on different things. I was trying to like build websites.
Yeah.
I was doing graphic design for some
For
clients
other
I had.
startups, at some point you were doing graphic
I
design.
was joining startups,
Yeah.
tech startups, and then I was trying all these different things. At the same time, I was painting on my free time just for fun.
Yeah.
Hoping that one day I would paint something that people would want to buy or
Yeah.
people would just find nice to look at. And then when I moved from Montreal to Vancouver, my goal was just to go to Vancouver and experiment. I had 3 like different paths I
Yeah.
wanted to experiment with. So one of them was art, painting, and then there was tech, and the third one was the movie industry.
Yeah.
So I actually worked as a PA.
Yeah.
For like 3 months.
You did that?
3 weeks.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I don't think that I knew
For
that.
like 3 weeks.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
For like
production assistant
okay.
for a TV show. It was a pilot. Never
It
aired.
never aired. Okay.
No. And
It would have been cool that it would have been like something like what is in Vancouver? Oh, Riverdale. I think Riverdale
everything
they
is-
do it.
is
They do
shot
it
in Vancouver.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
There's like 70 movies or TV shows.
I know there's a
filmed
lot
at the
that
same
are filmed,
time
yeah.
in Vancouver. It's so big. It's beautiful,
Yeah,
and it looks like every other city.
yeah, it's true.
And there's not, honestly, it's gonna sound kind of weird, but like there's not that many people in Vancouver because most of the people who buy like real estate in Vancouver,
Yeah,
they come from other countries,
yeah.
like Asian countries, so
Yeah.
they don't actually live there for full time. So there's not like it's not that dense in population.
Yeah.
And so I actually I
didn't
was
know
just working as a PA for 3 weeks. I was just making sure nobody was stealing equipment, and that's it. I was just looking at equipment for like 3 weeks, making sure nobody was.
And that's where
stealing.
you realize, that's not what I want to do.
Oh, but you know, the craziest thing is I actually liked it because like I can really entertain myself with my ideas and
Yeah.
in my mind. So just me walking and thinking, I was really entertaining and I really liked it, but I would never do this my whole life, you know.
The spirit also on set and all of that, like, must have been kind of, I don't know, like nice to,
Yeah,
to
'cause
see people that are doing.
I didn't know anything about the movie industry. So my plan was to go there, start as a PA, then look at what everybody is doing, find one of the positions I wanted to experiment with,
Yeah.
and then try it, and then move on from there, move up the ladder. And never happened because my art career blew up before this happened.
Thanks to TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a perfect medium.
Yeah, but I think I was lucky because at the same time I started my art career,
Yeah.
TikTok became like really popular in Canada and the US.
Yeah.
And so I started posting videos, and in the beginning of TikTok, it was so dumb. Like anything that was okay would get 100,000 views.
So you think, wait, so that's interesting. You think that today, if you were to do the same thing, it would be harder to get the views that you
Yeah.
got back then?
It would be impossible.
I mean, there's a lot more content. So I guess like that makes
'cause
sense.
in the beginning, at one point, there was like 800 million users.
Yeah.
And there were so few creators.
Yeah.
because every week there were like rumors that TikTok was going to be banned in the US.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think we were dating each other at this point. No,
I don't know.
it was before that. And so there were rumors that it was going to get banned every week. And yeah, it was just crazy. And also everybody was saying, oh, TikTok is for children,
Yeah.
not for adults. Nobody cares about TikTok. And me, I was like, bro, I can get 100,000 views
It's
by
a
making
lot.
a 15-second video. I'm going to keep doing it and
Yeah.
see what happens. And in the beginning, even me, I've never expected it to blow up. And then every other platform started their own TikTok
Yeah,
version.
like reels and
Instagram Reels, Snapchat Spotlight,
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts.
Are you on Snapchat?
Yeah, I'm everywhere, man.
Okay.
I got
I don't know. I don't have
70,000 subscribers on Snapchat.
Shit.
Do
I think-
you use? Oh, sorry.
I don't use Snapchat anymore.
No, but do you use any of the social media for your businesses or?
So that's a good question because I think for artists and content creator and all of that, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube can be useful for businesses. I would use it if I was building like a B2C, like a business directly to consumer. Like if I was selling a product directly to
Yeah.
consumer, I think it'd be useful. But for what I was doing back then, I was a VC, so I was a tech investor. So it was not the right way to attract people. But we had an Instagram because we were working with young people, universities, and all of that. So it made sense.
And Twitter, LinkedIn as well.
Twitter, LinkedIn. When you're an investor in tech, Twitter and LinkedIn is the place to be.
Yeah.
But obviously, all the other platforms can be useful. YouTube is also, there's a lot of amazing content when it comes to tech and conferences, and like you can legit train yourself, like
yeah.
educate yourself about what tech and investment in tech and all of that is, only by checking YouTube videos. I mean, you can do that for everything. I was talking with my friends
Mhm.
yesterday that
Exactly.
renovated his house completely on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how do I break down the ceiling? Or how
But
do I
there's
create
a few things you can't learn on YouTube. So I would never trust a doctor who learned from YouTube
Yes,
videos.
fair. Fair. But that's
But you
one of-
cannot practice anyway.
No, but that-
same
that-
thing for engineering.
Yeah. I mean, software engineering, like I graduated from like one of the best schools in Montreal. But I spent most of my time on Google. Like, it's just like, we would leave on Friday. They'd be like, okay, you need to, on Monday, we'll be coding in that language. And you're like, okay, I don't know this language. So you go online and you're like, I have a weekend to learn this new language that I don't know. So yeah,
I
like,
think the rule of thumb is like, if your job puts somebody's life at risk,
yeah,
you have to go
can't-
to school.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Exactly.
otherwise, you can learn anything on YouTube,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, like building, speaking to other
Like
engineers.
bridges
Yeah, building a
or cars.
bridge or a house or something like that. You're right. Yeah, no, you're totally right. It's funny because I was actually telling that to my friend last night. I was like, you know what? Like, because I'm not really good with like my hands to build a house or something. And I was like, I wouldn't be comfortable sleeping in the house that I built with my hands. Like, it's just like, it's something that I'd be concerned. I think it's better. I'll just continue paying for people to do it. It'll
Yeah,
be better that way.
Yeah, do the things you know
Exactly.
how to do right, and then outsource the rest.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so what's going on right now with Raph? What's the next step? What's the next plan? What are you most excited about right now?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Because now your successful business, Front Row Ventures. Now
So I took a step back last year. So it's almost a year now. I took a step back from the investment world, and we haven't like really completely explained what it was. But being a VC is basically being a tech investor. My job was to find, for everyone to understand, was to find the next Google, the next Facebook, the next Instagram before it became cool, investing in them, allowing them to grow their company. So that was what I was doing before. Like a year ago or so, I decided that I love doing that. I'll probably finish my life as an investor, but I wanted to build another business or do something else in the meantime. So I took a step back from all of that a year ago or so. And what I do now, it's interesting because it has some links with what you've done in the past year as well. I'm a big believer in everything Web3 related, so everything blockchain related. obviously,
NFTs, NFTs,
yes,
NFTs.
there's some parts of NFTs that I do believe in the future of. It's definitely interesting, and it's been a couple interesting months. Let's put it that way. A couple interesting weeks with everything that happened with FTX and everything. But I'm still a big believer in the potential of this technology. So what I'll be spending the next like 5 to 10 years, I think I'll be in that area, building software, building a new platform, leveraging this technology, helping businesses getting in from the Web 2 era to the Web 3 era, I think is what I want to do.
So are you aiming to do something like super big or smaller business?
We'll see. To be honest, it's been an interesting year because I took a step back from the investment world a year ago. I needed to recharge the batteries, which is what I told you. I traveled a bit. I'm a big skier. So last winter I skied like 50 days. I enjoyed the bit life is what I did.
In Europe?
I didn't go to Europe, but I did. I stayed a bit in Canada, the US. I did Whistler. I did Colorado. I also went to north of Quebec, like 8 hours drive from Montreal. Just for people that are not from Montreal, there's amazing mountains there. It's not resorts. Like I ski and like in the wild, I put like skins under my skis and I go up the mountain and then I go down. I do that usually with my dog, which is a bit bigger than that. So that's why I love having like a shepherd as a dog, because he follows me everywhere and he's not, he's quite sporty. So anyway, but I've reflected a lot on what I want to do, and I don't know if it's going to be an enormous business. But I think it's all about focusing on a need, trying to solve a need, building a software that solves a need. I mean, I think right now, not only in the crypto and the Web3 world, but in the world in general, we're in recession.
Yeah.
The economy is kind of upside down. So there's like, it'll take time for the economy to recover and businesses to grow. But I think that if you focus on a real need and build a real business around it and generate some real revenues, it can really become big. Yeah.
So how long is it going to take to recover?
The economy?
Tell us, Raph.
Jeez. It's such interesting.
I want the exact date and time.
Exact date. Okay. So full disclosure for everyone at home. I graduated as a software engineer. I am not an economist. I do know a bit about financial world, but really not enough. But I mean, there's no like inflation has peaked really recently in the US. Some really smart people, way smarter than me, are predicting that it'll go down to go up around the holidays of 2022, maybe early 23. So to be honest with you, like I would, if I was like what I'm saying to most entrepreneurs that I've invested in or that I'm working with is that gear up for at least a good year, if it's not 2 years of like recovery. And it could take as much as 3 years, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of recovering. But I don't know if it'll come back to what it was a year ago, because I mean, you felt it in every aspect of the world. Like everything was so up, everything was exploding in the past year or so. So we'll see.
I know a company from Montreal. I'm not going to say any names, but they were in NFTs and crypto, and they had like big dreams. And all their funds were in Luna, and they lost everything. And the company shut down overnight.
What's Luna?
It's like a crypto.
It's a cryptocurrency. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Kind of
stable coin.
Stable coin. Yeah. I mean, I guess like because for me, Luna and like it was some kind of experiment, right? Because it was algorithmic crypto and stable coins. So it was like someone took a stab at like trying this way. It didn't work. Too bad. It's sad a lot of people lost a lot of money, and I empathize with them. But more recently, like the FTX thing, I think was harder for me to accept. Like just people running away with $10 billion and it's straight up fraud and stealing people's money, giving personal loans to your VP engineering for like almost $700 million. It's just like so much shit that is going on that it's really hard emotionally. Like the past few weeks has been really hard emotionally for me, because it's annoying that some finance bros that saw an opportunity to make a quick buck basically did what they did. They fraud, they stole money from a lot of people. And now we're all as an industry taking a step back of like a year or 2 years in terms of trust from people. Because now everyone that had doubts about crypto and the power of blockchain and all of that, they all, oh yeah, see, I told you that it was bullshit. And you're like,
It's
come
crazy
on.
because FTX collapsed, and then everybody who had their FTT coin
The token,
token lost money, but it affected the whole market. So everybody was affected. So if you were the owner of any crypto or NFT,
everything.
yeah,
Everything.
it's just, even like, yeah, it's crazy.
I mean,
It's the craziest story of this year.
and the saddest part for me, it's not even about like the amount of money that was lost is sad and destroyed is sad, but it's more about the trust of the people that were learning about like the power of blockchain and the technology blockchain is not only like it's used in crypto, but it can be used in so many different aspects. But people are all putting that in the same basket, and they all say like, "See, this is the proof that it's bullshit, that it's not working." And it's like, no, this is just a finance bro that saw an opportunity to make money and steal money from people using this technology. So, but it's really like the trust of the world regarding this technology that is kind of sad to me.
And
Yeah,
I guess after such a big event, it's going to be more difficult for people to scam people. I hope it's going to be more regulated, I guess.
Yeah,
we
that's
need
it.
more regulations.
I mean, I hope so. To be honest, like I was always on the side of those guys. Like, not to say that I only love Coinbase, but the way that Coinbase did it since the beginning, it was like, we want to get regulated. We want to do it right. And I'm sure like they've done things wrong as well. Cause it was like the Far West, like you could do everything you wanted to, but at least having the idea of like, no, we want to do it right. We don't want to incorporate ourselves in the Bahamas just to save money. We want to do it right. We want to have regulations and all of that. I think is the right way to do it. I think it was like people that just saw the opportunity. Oh shit, like it's not regulated. Let's like try to steal money from everyone, or like in the NFT world, like some rug pulls or things like
NFTs. I think at one point it was like 95% of the NFT projects were rug pulls.
It's just so sad. And that to me is just like bunch of like not honest people. Let's put it that way, because I don't want to be too rude here, but it's just it's not okay. And it's normal in using new technologies. Like if we go back, just for people to understand, like this new way of doing protocols on the internet, we can definitely compare that with the 90s when the internet was invented. And obviously, like if you look back, a lot of bullshit was there. A lot of people stole money from other people. A lot of companies were the equivalent of the rug pulls were like straight up companies that were becoming public in the 2000 and then like disappearing with the money. Like that happened before. So I'm not shocked that it's happening again. It's just sad that it's happening again. And it's just sad that it'll take more time and more time, because now it's like, it's not like small rug pulls, like $10 billion that just disappeared overnight. It's, anyway.
And in the beginning of internet, people were afraid of putting their credit card information online.
Exactly.
And like, I think it's the same for Web3 and like crypto NFTs. People are scared to actually put money into, big marketplaces or.
Yeah.
But
what do you say?
Take some time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What's interesting, and I learned that quite recently. I didn't know that, but Andreessen, who created one of the first browser, he's also like one of the greatest investor with Andreessen Horowitz, which is a big VC firm in the US. He created the first browser in the 90s. He wanted to use the web protocol to be able to do it. He wanted to encrypt. He wanted like an encryption service to put that on the web. Back then, it was only the army that could legally encrypt things on the web using the web protocol to do it. So he needed to go to court to be able to get some legal rights to do encryption on the web. And he was telling the court, he was like, well, and the judge didn't understand. And he was saying like, why would you want to have encryption online? And he was like, well, if people wants to pay online, we need encryption to make sure that it's safe for people to pay online. Yeah. And the judge answer at that point was, why do you think people would want to pay online? Nobody will ever want to put their credit cards or ever want to pay online. And it's just like, it just speaks to the
That was
like,
the 90s.
that was in the 90s, and they compare it, which I'm trusting them because obviously I was like 2 years old at that point, but they compare it like 95, 96. What we
What's
were
happening
in the
right
past.
now.
Yeah, what's happening right now in terms of like the maturity of the technology. So if you compare, he fought at that point just to get encryption on the web, something that is like so normal for us to have. It's
Yeah.
like the first thing we do when we have a credit card, it put it online to buy something on Amazon. But he fought for it the same way that we are fighting right now to have some encryption in the crypto and some regulation and all of that. So I'm not that concerned. Again, it's like patterns that are getting replicated from earlier, but it's just sad to see again that a lot of money was lost in the past year.
Yeah, and this guy is a big investor in
He's one of the
Or they-
biggest. Yeah,
Yuga Labs.
yeah, exactly. They invested Yuga Labs at $4 billion valuation.
Yeah, they invested like $450 million or something.
I don't know the exact amount, but I'm assuming yes, because I remember that the company was valued at $4 billion, so it means that the valuation, what's the company worth,
Yeah.
was $4 billion when they invested. So usually they'll take like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% of the company. So if you make the math, it would be something like that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because now that everything has collapsed, everybody is saying like NFTs are dead, crypto is dead. I see people commenting crypto is dead. Like I think
It'll take time.
I think in 2020 there were the total of all the transactions on PayPal were lower than all the whole market cap of Ethereum Ethereum. Yes. Dude, don't quote me on that one. I'm not.
I love how we're just like getting numbers out of our hat here. But I feel you. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's there's a lot of potential again into it, just as like for anyone at home. I won't like state all the plus of like using this technology, but obviously like for anyone that tried to transfer money from one country to another, such a pain. It costs so much money. Yeah.
It's hell.
Yeah, it's hell.
And so many people wants to send money to
Exactly.
their families. So
A lot of immigrants are
really important.
exactly.
because Audrey used to work at the bank, and so many times people from here wanted to send money to people in their countries, like African
or
countries.
receive, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes the money would just get lost
Yeah.
because of
It's
the
crazy.
banking
It's
system.
not a
crazy
lot of
to think
times,
that-
but it
You
did happen.
tell the story about this guy who lost like $5,000.
I don't remember.
No, she told me a story like this guy
Yeah,
wanted to
thousands
send
of dollars.
thousands
It's
of
just
dollars.
crazy
I
to
don't
think
know
that
if
in
he
20
ever found it again. Honestly, I don't know. But when I was on the issue, it has been months and months, and somebody told me like, "Yeah, I don't think he will ever have his money back."
It's crazy.
Just lost
yeah,
the money.
It's crazy
Through
to think that it's
bank
happening.
transactions.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go from a bank to another. It goes to a bank, and then sometimes another bank, and then
Yeah.
sometimes another bank, and then the person's bank. And everything needs to be perfect. All the information. If you have capital letters in your name, everything needs to be
Yeah.
perfect. And
It's crazy.
Now with crypto, you can send like 4 billion. It's gonna cost you $2.
I mean,
You can send
depending
it
on
to-
which network, but yes.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm talking about Ethereum. You can send
yeah.
like that's the best case scenario.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
the
send like
best
4
case.
billion for $2 to
No, you're right.
somebody in like 12 seconds.
There's definitely, and that's also like an argument that some people are using, but we're far from having the tools right now to achieve mainstreamness. Like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
grandma test that
There's
we
too
call.
many scams. And
Yeah, there's too many scams, and even like the way that you've talked about, like it's true that theoretically you could transfer 4 billion to like someone else, but officially like it could also go to another wallet if you're just missing one thing. Like we're not there yet, but like soon, and already like we see technologies that are making it like so much easier to transfer money and all of that. But the power is in the technology, because for the first time we would be able to do it. Now it's just to build the interface in front of it to do it easily. But yeah, you're right. It's
because you can send. So if you make a mistake in the address, you can send it to the wrong address, but you can also send it to an address that doesn't exist, and the money is just lost forever.
Yeah,
which is just crazy.
That's also that's also quite fun.
You can just burn money like.
I mean, yeah, there was some collections that when there was like some rug pulls or like people stealing or something like that, they would just like send it to like a dead wallet or just to burn it. So
Yeah.
there was an artist that dared I don't remember who he was, but he dared his collection owners to burn one. What was it? Oh, I think it was an artist that you couldn't transfer his, like he didn't want you to transfer his NFTs, and basically like someone transferred it and someone else bought it just to burn it, just to keep like this holistic idea that you couldn't transfer like his collection, that it was like meant to be like keeping it for the long term and all of that. Anyway, like I just thought like I think that person like bought it for like hundreds of thousands of dollars just to burn it to the ground. Anyway,
Wow.
it was
Right.
interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There was this guy on YouTube. He made a video called Bored Ape Nazi Club.
Okay.
And basically he was saying that like the bored apes were all references to Nazi things and the Holocaust and stuff like that. And he was
Which
trying
wasn't
to.
wrong, right?
I
We
mean,
saw
there's
that.
no absolute proof, but
Yeah.
like there's obviously like weird coincidences.
Mm.
And he was trying to convince every bored ape owner to burn their NFTs.
Oh my god.
Just forget them, and like who would just burn at that time it was like $150,000. Who would just burn $150,000
Did some
to be
people
part
do-
of a movement?
Yeah, some
And
people.
then
I mean,
this guy ended up like stealing the intellectual property from the bored apes. He created his own collection that was exactly the same as the
oh yeah, I
Bored
remember
Apes.
that. I
Yeah.
remember that.
And then he
yeah.
went to jail or something. Dude, people have been doing crazy things in the past year. I mean, if you make like a documentary on everything that happened around NFTs, you
Oh,
could
that would
get
be a good idea.
that would be
It's
a
definitely
great
coming.
documentary,
I feel that it's like
I
coming
hope
on
so.
Netflix soon.
Yeah, for sure.
or even just the FTX
But
saga.
Oh, that's definitely coming.
I
This
bet
is
it's going
coming,
to be
man.
really bad for NFTs.
No,
and for
because
the-
every publicity is good publicity.
I mean, yes,
Mm.
I'm hoping that
It
they'll
depends
explain
the
it well.
narrative.
Yeah.
it really depends if they're biased. Like if the people who create the documentary hates it,
Yeah.
forget it. It's
I
gonna
mean-
influence
That's true.
people.
At least if they explain it in a way that, because usually documentaries and things like that, they reach a part of the population that are not necessarily savvy on those things.
Yeah.
So at least like if they explain it in a good way, that it's clear that it's just a bunch of finance bros that were basically assholes that were just trying to steal money from people. But it's not the technology that is at fault.
Mm.
That like it'll bring some awareness to the technology, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, recently it's funny because with the FTX fall and everything, there was a bunch of things on social media about making, like, people were just saying like, oh, and like posting pictures of actors and saying like, oh, that person would be perfect to play SBF, or that person would be, because they did like so much. They did like one series on Uber recently. They did one on Theranos, which was like one of the greatest scams of all times in Silicon Valley. They did one on WeWork as well, on Apple TV.
Spotify.
They did Spotify as well, and Netflix. I'm actually watching this one right now. It came out a couple of weeks ago.
one.
Yeah, it's a
Really
good
good.
one actually, and it's interesting because when I was studying in the US, one of my friends was from Sweden, and she was so proud of everything that like Spotify and like she was something else that they were proud of was Avicii, which is also in Avicii is also in the documentary.
Yeah,
Which is
I was
interesting.
like, I thought it was a really cool scene.
Yeah, it is.
Like, oh, it's just a random DJ. His name is
Yeah.
Avicii. I don't know how to say his name.
It must be quite fucked up because he was one of the greatest, and he's not there anymore.
I
but
think
yeah.
he was like the Mozart of like, was it how do you call this music style? The electronic music? Yeah. he was
I would
so
assume
smart.
it's maybe it's. I don't want to say house. I don't want to say like.
No, I don't want to
wanna
say it either, but
but something electronic.
Sorry for
EDM
the
maybe?
fans.
I don't
That's what I was
know.
gonna say. It's
But
not
I don't
like-
think it's EDM enough to be called. I don't know.
because this guy was I mean, I think
was a
we
legend,
can agree
that's
he
for
was
sure.
a genius,
Yeah,
and all he liked to do is create music,
yeah,
and
yeah. His documentary was
didn't like
also
going out and
No.
doing shows because
Have you seen the documentary
Yeah, I
they did
saw
on
it.
it? It's quite sad because you see that he just wants to do music.
He just wants to
And-
do what he loves,
Yeah.
and he can't do it because there's this big money machine behind his
I mean,
whole brand.
you've talked about like being a one man business. He was like a 1,000 man business, but it was all around him, and they were milking him like
Yeah.
crazy.
But I think
and-
that's what happens with lots of celebrities.
Yeah.
Like singers, they get like one success from one song
yeah.
when they're really young, and then they just lose it. They lose control, and
I mean,
Yeah.
it's easy to lose it. Like it must be like quite epic to be in
Yeah.
front of a crowd like that.
That's like
and-
my biggest nightmare is to be a celebrity. When you understand, like,
Is that true?
oh yeah,
I'd love one thing that I always promised myself, like if I really make it, like if I like ever become something, I'd love one of my dream would just be like to be standing in front of the crowd like a DJ. Cause I'm not talented enough to be a DJ, but I would just like the feeling of having like hundreds of thousands of people, like let's say Tomorrowland or something like that are grooving, that are moving at the rhythm of
Yeah.
the music that you're putting on. It must be crazy, like as a feeling.
Mm.
so
I'd
you
love to do
said
that.
so you said that maybe I'll become something one day.
I
But
said,
what do you mean? Like, how are you gonna do?
I don't know.
How are you gonna know you became something?
That's a good question. If I'm able to get on Tomorrowland stage, if I have, I don't know. No, but it was just it's a way of talking that
You like to imagine yourself being that in that position,
yeah.
and
And I guess like at some point like becoming something, meaning like if I don't know, like I don't think like Mark Zuckerberg could definitely get in on the stage
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a certain
Paris Hilton does it. So
she does. I
she's
didn't
a
know that.
DJ, yeah.
Oh wow,
She's great.
DJ?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
she's
She does
badass.
so many things that I didn't know she was doing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Was that there was like a documentary about her as well where
Mhm.
where did I see that? Anyway, but I was reading
It's on
something
YouTube.
about
The document.
oh yeah, there you go. But I
Very
was quite
good.
impressed. I didn't watch it, but I was quite impressed. Like just the list of things that she was doing.
But let's keep in mind that the narrative is controlled.
I'm sure.
So we never know. Like she's a victim, but also like when we watch the documentary.
Wait, Paris Hilton, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we because it talks about the abuse.
Oh, it
She-
does. Okay, wow, I didn't. know.
And once we watch the documentary, we're like, we really empathize with her.
Yeah.
But let's not forget
Who's
the
we?
bad
Because
things.
I'm not the other one. Was
We-
it the dog?
fans, the people.
Oh, okay.
Because I
talking
really
for
like
everybody.
her because I've been like a fan since I'm a kid, but she did some not okay things.
Questionable things. Yeah.
But yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know the whole story there, but I'm sure
she's a DJ. That's the point.
Yeah. There's one that I was really surprised to know that he's a DJ. Guy La Liberté, which is a,
Yeah.
also a
No way.
Quebecer that created Cirque du Soleil. He's like a full on, like it's his full-time job now, I
No
think. Like he
way.
does like a bunch of festivals.
He
and
just does
music.
what he loves because
I mean, he's like rich.
he's a billionaire. He can do
I mean,
whatever he wants.
So the point
He went to space as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
It's
you
quite nice.
you could do whatever you want. And
Yeah, I'm not a billionaire though. I guess that's the point. Like if I ever become,
I think
At
if
that
you have
point.
$50 million, everything above that is just useless.
probably, yeah.
You don't need more than that. Everything above that is just more stress, more responsibilities.
It is.
I think that's like, I mean, that's 50 million is a lot, but
It's a lot, but I mean, what's nice is that at some point, at a certain threshold, you can also start to give back in certain ways with like foundations and things like that. It's quite trendy right now that really rich people are giving their fortune to like good causes or
yeah,
things
SBF
like that.
was going to do it.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Mm.
it's
Bro,
yeah.
it's so funny because the day before this came out, I was watching TikTok and I saw a video of SBF explaining his life plan. So he
Yeah.
was going to become a multi-billionaire and then give away all his money,
Philanthropist.
yeah.
philanthropist. And then he was saying that like he had like an Acura as a car. He was living with like 10 people. and he was like bragging about his lifestyle.
Yeah,
And then I commented, "Wow, this guy is so inspiring. I want to be like him." And then the next day, everything collapsed
Oh
for
my
him.
Wait,
and-
were you serious?
No, I just said like, "This is so inspiring," something like that.
But it's true that if it was true that he wanted to do it, what's quite sad, and someone drew a parallel the other day between him and Maddox. Anyway, he was someone else who in I think early 2000 created a company. I don't even remember what industry it was, but he basically like stole a lot of money from a lot of people. And before SBF, he was like the worst person in the US that stole a lot of money. Was him. Now it's SBF. But anyway, and he had apparently the same playbook as SBF, which is like savior of the ecosystem, investing in a bunch of things, being a big philanthropist and saying a lot of things, and that he'll save a lot of people. So a lot of people were saying in the past like couple of weeks that he used Maddox's playbook to replicate, like, okay, like if I'm really a good person and I'm going out in the media saying that I'm a really good person and all of that, people won't really look under their hood if I'm doing like sketchy things. And apparently like SBF in some text messages that were released recently with a journalist, he was basically saying like, yeah, no, it was all a front. I knew that if I was saying that I would do good things and all of that, people would believe and it'd be like easier and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like so
It
sad.
was sociopath, man.
Yeah. And that's definitely one.
I feel like if you're bragging that you're better than other people, you're hiding something.
I mean,
There's something,
yes, some people are definitely, yeah. I mean, it's just in this case, it's quite fucked though. When you think about it, that guy was worth, I don't know, 16, 20 billion, 14,
SBF?
Yeah.
14.
$14 billion. And
Yeah.
like overnight, he
$1.
not even, he was in debt of like
Oh, really?
$600 million or something because he had a bunch of loans. Because what happens when you're that rich, like you're rich on paper, but you don't have that money in your bank account.
Yeah,
It's all like you own parts of the company that is worth that money. Like Elon Musk he doesn't have like $300 billion in his bank account. That's not how it works. But so then what happens is that bunch of banks are coming to you and they're like, okay, do you want loans? And it's like really advantageous loan for like really rich people and all of that. So you take like line of credits and things like that because you're rich. But what happens when you lost all your money because your company goes bankrupt is that you have the loans to pay. And apparently like he had like something like $600 million loans that he was not able to pay. Anyway.
So we went from having $14 billion on paper to
owe money.
being worth.
But I'm sure I'm speculating here, and those numbers are probably not even right. But I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised that he hid a bit of money somewhere. That like, I'm not that concerned about him. I hope he goes to prison because he stole a lot of money. But if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll be like somewhere on an island enjoying life.
Well,
being
if
really
he's-
rich.
If he keeps living in the US and he goes out in the streets, some people are gonna try.
He's not in the US though. He's in Bahamas.
Oh, wait, I thought he came
Bahamas.
back.
Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure.
No, because I read recently because there was rumors that he left for like Argentina or something.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
apparently now the police is like watching him in Bahamas or something. I don't know. I don't follow much. Like I feel
This guy's life is over.
yeah. I mean, he won't be allowed to be in charge of a company anymore for a long, long time,
Yeah, it's
if
crazy.
ever. I mean, we'll see.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we start for the first time as well because it's interesting. Because now earlier I was talking about the Theranos thing, which is like the. Do you know Theranos?
Yeah, we both know Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
her,
And she was
one
just
drop blood samples.
exactly, yeah. And there was a TV series about her and her story and all of that. And I think last week she actually got sentenced to 12 years of prison.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it.
And it's one of the first time I feel that it's really crossing. Like it's one thing, like any entrepreneur is a bit like fake it until you make it, but she crossed the line.
Dude, she
It
was
cuts
faking
live.
it so
Yeah,
much.
100%.
Her voice. We watched a video last week. There's a video where she's like being interviewed in a conference, and she has this deep voice,
Deep
male
voice, yeah.
voice. And then there's a clip right after, another video like 10 years earlier, and she has like her natural voice,
Yeah.
and it's like two different people.
I read
It's
the book.
scary,
Yeah,
man.
and I read the book, and apparently it was really true that she faked her
Yeah,
voice.
if you go on YouTube, you type Elizabeth Holmes, the first suggestion is
Is
voice.
Well, she was just controlling her image
Yeah.
and the way she appeared, and I guess it worked for a little bit. People took
Oh,
her more
Yeah, it
seriously.
worked for sure.
she built. It was a fake business, but like she convinced a lot of people that what she was doing was amazing, and like we need to give her that. She's at least a good con artist in a way
Yeah.
that she raised so much money. I mean, it also speaks to my industry in technology. Everyone wants to believe that you have the next Facebook in your hands, so everyone's like so positive about like optimist about like what you're trying to build. But I think sometimes some people are getting a bit too excited, and this was one of the great case of that.
Yeah, it's one of the craziest stories, and I hope we're gonna see
Crazy.
FTX story on Netflix soon.
I'm
'Cause I
sure.
have some
Probably.
good popcorn
I'm
I want
sure.
to eat.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
a huge deal.
because a lot of people lost a lot of money, like normal people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were trusting FTX like just as like storing their crypto there or something like
Yeah.
that. So, and that's the saddest part about it is that probably we, as an industry, we lost some people that were just getting started
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
crypto world
Mm.
that now probably lost like
Honestly, in the
hundreds,
last
if
year,
it's not thousands of
most
dollars.
people who left the NFT/crypto space are probably just people who lost it all. 'Cause
Yeah.
they got scammed by
100%.
NFTs. Like I said, 95% were rug pulls at one point. And so, like, the scammers just destroyed the market
Yeah, it's really sad.
for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. We'll see. I mean, just because I don't want to this podcast to just be like doom and gloom. Like it is an amazing time to be building a company in the tech world. Like those recession, history has proven that all the biggest tech companies were created during those recession because when the economy is bad, new problems
Like Uber.
You find solutions.
Uber, Airbnb, Facebook was also created in 2007. It doesn't really have anything with the recession, but it was during that time
It
as
helped,
well.
probably.
Probably.
Because Uber, especially, so people are saying that if there were no recession, we would have never heard of Uber.
Oh, 100%.
Because there were so many companies doing the same thing. But Uber came along during the 2008 recession.
Yeah.
And at that time, people were looking for jobs and quick money.
for side revenue
Yeah,
or
side hustles.
Airbnb is exactly, and Airbnb is a really good example because everyone initially it started as a couch surfing thing where everyone has a couch, and because people are poor because it's a recession, you probably want to do like a couple $100 more a month to pay the bills and all of that. So it started that way where it's like it's a no-brainer. You have a couch, we have people that wants to pay for it, like you make hundreds of dollars a month.
There's
So-
still those websites though.
Yeah. No, yeah,
Surfing.
you're totally right. But I mean, it's just like creating sidelines and side businesses and all of that. Like what I'm saying is that all of those tech companies obviously were created during the recession. So this bear market, this recession, it's exciting for that because new companies will arise. Old companies that should have been dying maybe years ago will die, and it's okay. It's just the evolution of the world. And so I'm definitely excited and bullish about what's happening. And also like you as an NFT collection creator, you felt it like during the bull run, like a year ago, it was crazy. Like every week you needed to do something to entertain your community. Otherwise, like people, like it's hard to
It
be
was
like,
so hard.
yeah, it's hard to have that much
Still
pressure.
is.
It still is hard, but
100%.
we were lucky because the day we launched our collection is the day all the NFT collections started collapsing. All the
Because
prices
it was
started
the
going
end of
down.
January, if I remember.
Yeah,
well.
exactly. So if you look at the curves,
Yeah.
January 29 or
It was the
8
perfect timing.
is the date we launched our collection, and the same date all the floor prices started
Yeah.
going down.
But and it's hard as well because like those first years of using this NFT technology for like collections and things like that, it's a lot driven by speculation, where like what you're building has more meaning and this community and all of that. So, and I think it's just hard in a bull market where every week something's happening and it's so like people are expecting so much. So I think this bear market right now is perfect to just go back to the drawing table, like, and take the time that it needs to build something really meaningful that people will love and will use. And so I think like it's actually super positive, everything that's happening, because it's hard to be building a new company or a collection in a bull market where like every week something new is happening, or every week people are asking for more things. And it's just like, it's too crazy to be building. So it's not doom and gloom. It's exciting. It's still okay. It's just sad that a lot of people lost a lot of money in the past year.
Yeah.
Do you own any NFTs?
I do. Yeah.
You own a pop art gallery?
I do.
Really?
I do.
Oh, yes, let's go.
Yeah, I do. More than one,
Oh,
actually.
That's awesome.
I'm a proud owner of. I mean, I was definitely biased because the moment that I saw, because Matt reached out to me last year, I think it was like August or September, and you were thinking about like, oh, maybe I'll do this collection thing. I think it could be cool to be an artist on the forefront, the technology, all of that. And I was like, well, this is super cool. And I think like it was just so exciting for me to see him launch his collection that it was not a possibility for me not to buy it. Like obviously I needed to buy a couple of them, and I'm just keeping them because I believe in him and I want to be part of this community. But yeah,
Did
no,
you get the canvas and the shirts? And...
I didn't actually. No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, we might have some extra.
Oh, that's exciting.
No.
Yeah. Well, we have some.
That's I won the sweater. I should have registered for that one. I think I missed
There's
it in the past.
14 left.
I want one.
You have
Yes, I'll do. I'll
a few weeks to buy it.
Perfect. I'll do it because it's beautiful. But yeah, no, I definitely was part of this NFT boom in the past like year or so. And I think while it was an exciting journey to be part of, I think I was always really down to earth about what was happening in the market, a lot of speculation and all of that. To me, there's a lot of potential in creating communities like the one that you have, but there's also a lot of potential in this technology to be using in other areas, like loyalty programs, being closer to your customers, like brands like Nike, like Adidas, and so many other brands that launch their collection. I think there's a lot of power in this technology, and I think it's really exciting what's happening. We were in the past like couple months was lucky enough to be working some airlines and things like that. So it's like there's a lot of happening there leveraging this technology. So we'll see in the coming years.
Yeah, it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
It's not dead.
It's not dead for sure, because there's so much money involved and so many and big investments were made in the NFT / crypto space. It's just and Kevin O'Leary said
he got burned real bad because he
are the next Bitcoin.
Okay.
But he also invested a lot of money in FTX. So I'm not too sure if we should trust what he says.
He was a paid spokesperson for FTX.
Oh, okay. Did not invest.
Yeah.
He probably invested.
100%. What I'm saying is that he was
Also,
more than just an investor.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
He got burned real hard. And actually to his merit, like he actually in the past like few weeks took the time to just say like, you know what? I was wrong. Like I got fucked like everyone else. And it's sad. It's entrepreneurship. As an investor, I bet on, I had a bet on that entrepreneur, and I like he got me. But it's sad because he was a big advocate. Yeah. We're like best friends now.
He just cut all his hand.
So we don't have hoodies, man, but you can take the dog if you want.
Just take the dog. I'm checking the time.
Yeah. You want me to go? I think my dog won't like the fact that I'm coming back with another one. Just like now I'll
straight
be
for a few weeks.
Oh, you won't like
Give me
it.
your dog.
Because this one, I feel that this one is like mine would be like just playing with everything
Jumping
here.
around. They
'Cause
have a lot of energy.
Yeah. He's a border collie, so like he wants to play. And it's funny because this morning I was recording another podcast and I could hear him. Because I don't keep him in the room because otherwise it makes like he'll move and he'll like annoy me and like tap on me, and I could hear him in the corridor just being like, "Dad, are you finished now? Can we play?" Anyway, it's kind of funny to have a border collie.
Yeah,
And he's key.
And he skis, yeah. I mean, he doesn't skis, but it's quite funny because last winter I was so impressed with him because it was the first winter we had him in skiing with him. I would go down like super steep mountains, and I would have like powder, like so super fluffy snow up to my waist.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's like 40 pounds or so. So he's not that tall. But he would like a bit like if he was swimming in the water, like he would go down and he was just like jump like that, come
Doing
up with, like,
butterflies
exactly.
with the
And he would
snow.
just like come up with a lot of snow in his face, but he would be so happy about
How
it.
does he go down? He's just running?
He's running.
Does
He's
he
running
fall
down the
sometimes?
mountain.
Does he roll?
No, he's
Okay.
because that's the thing as well. My girlfriend was super like concerned, like as a concerned mom. She was like, "No, he can do it," and I was like, "Babe, like he has like 4 paws.
that's
Like
true.
he has way more traction on the snow
Yeah.
and in the mountain than us."
Does he have like little dog boots?
No, he doesn't. But we put like Vaseline on his
Yeah.
I don't know how to call it.
Paws.
Yeah, paws, I guess.
Pads.
Pads, yeah,
Pads.
okay. So because otherwise, like the snow gets stuck in between, and it's like it and he'll like bite it because he wants to remove it, and it can like bleed out. But if you put Vaseline, it's perfect because like
What I
it
was
gets
saying.
yeah. So because the boots, I don't think he would like it. I
Because
think
He's gonna
we
lose
bought
them.
Yeah.
boots for our
Yeah.
dog, and we just walked like I don't know 300 meters, and he loses them.
Was he walking correctly with it?
Yeah, yeah.
As
That's
soon
impressive.
as we put them on, he was like, but since he's a baby, I touch his paws all the
Okay,
time.
that's good. Yeah,
And
because
I-
mine, like you can't really touch. Like putting Vaseline is a whole thing.
That
Like-
was the most important thing for me. Like,
But it's good, yeah, because
'Cause
we
I-
rescued him. He was 4 years
Ah.
old, so we couldn't deal. But
it was
it
too
like,
late.
have you seen those videos where like cutting the nails of the dogs? Like they put like saran wrap on their head, and they put like peanut butter on their head. So
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
the dog is licking the head, so they can
busy, yeah.
he's busy, so you can cut the nails and all. It looks almost like that. Like we need to be 2 on the dog, and like I feed him while Steph, my girlfriend, is like cutting the nails because otherwise it doesn't like.
I'm
doesn't like
allergic
it.
to peanut butter. Are there alternatives?
And you're also allergic to you would be
dogs?
allergic to my dog, so it's not
So,
working for you.
That's why I'm not. I don't work at the pet shop.
Yeah, I mean
There's
it's
many reasons why you don't work in the pet shop, but
Yeah, there's more than one. I think we can name 2 or 3.
I'm sure. I mean I love animals, but I would never work in those shops. I would never be able to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy because not pet shops, but I have a friend and he loves animals.
Yeah.
And when he was a teenager, he always told me I want to become a veterinarian.
Mhm.
Is that the name in English? A vet.
yeah.
I think that they'll understand.
And and I was like, you know what? Vets have like the highest suicide rate. I'm the worst friend. I told him that, and I
Is it
said,
true?
That's true. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they put down
'Cause
animals every
vets
day.
are people who love animals.
Oh yeah, I
Not
know.
all of them, but
no,
most of them. I'm
I mean,
guessing.
you need
and
to
then
love
you-
animals to
you
go
end
into
up-
that.
Yeah.
Seeing animals suffering all day, every day.
Yeah, because if you're a vet like in a city like Montreal or something, like your job must be like, you must be like saving some of them,
Yeah.
but
we
you must
have
be
a-
killing so
we
many
have
dogs.
A
for
Yeah.
them.
high rate of like abandonment.
Yeah, that's sad. And also with the winters and everything, like they can't be outside. So
And we're never allowed to have animals in apartments here.
Yeah.
Like, so
What happens with the dead dogs and cats?
I
Is
do
Is there
not want to
just
know.
like
Can
a
we
pile
change
of animals?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do not want to know that.
In an hour and 10.
I
And
think
this-
we should wrap
Because
this up.
I need to pee.
I love that you. I love that you got closer to the mic to say that. I also need to go.
I have one last question. I mean, like
Go
2
for it.
questions. So we said earlier that like being an artist is like having a business.
Yeah.
So you need to manage your artist career like you're managing a business. So you're a businessman. What would your recommendations be? I mean, you're not an artist, but you can guess like
Yeah.
what artists have to go through. What's your recommendation for upcoming artists, emerging artists?
It's a good question. I think that part is really similar to what I would say to an entrepreneur. I think it'll be one of the hardest journey of your life to build a business or build your career as an artist, I think you need to find something that you're really passionate about, and you need to give your everything. Like there's a quality that we call grit, which is basically like the effort, like the persistence that you'll put in your business, and how much like you'll be putting, like you went to another city to be alone with yourself, really focus on yourself, decide what you wanted to do. And like, this is showing how much you wanted this, and how much, and I can not even imagine the number of hours that you must have spent like doing that. So what I would say is to choose something that you're passionate about, because it'll be your life. And it takes more hours that you can take to become good at something, and become like, you need to find something that like a niche that you're the best in the world, or the best in your country, or the best in what you're trying to do. And if you have that, it's probably the equivalent of a business of solving a real need, having a niche that nobody else is doing. And usually it's a good sign. If you're the only one in the world having this software that solves this problem, it's usually a really good sign for a business. So I'm assuming it's a bit the same for an artist. But there's a whole creative aspect that I don't really get, because I'm an engineer and I'm not really creative. So
I think you're a creative guy, but
different ways.
Yeah,
different ways. I'm in process. I'm creative in the way that I create process and that I create businesses to solve problems. But like doing art or doing songs, like songwriters are really, they amazes me. Like the way that they're able, and it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. I should maybe just try it, because I feel that I'm putting them a lot on a pedestal, and maybe I'll realize that it's super hard, and it was okay for me to put them there. But I feel it's crazy, the process, to me, to think that you put words on a paper, and then you imagine music around it, and then the output is a song. Like I can not even comprehend how you do that. It's just like,
are you telling us you're gonna become a famous singer?
I would love that, but I don't. That's the thing. Like I would love that, because I think it's an amazing thing to be able to write music, and I think music is really personal. You can probably relate to that, but like music is following you everywhere in the world, and it's on this journey with you at so many important moments of your life, and so music is really, really personal, and I would love, because it's one of the greatest thing to do in the world, to create music, create emotion into people's, but like I just don't have that superpower in me. It's not why I was born, I think.
But we're all born with no superpowers, no skills, and we all learn.
It's
how
true.
to do everything.
You're right.
I learned how to paint. I never didn't.
Yeah, but you had a creative mind.
Knowing how to,
You were a really good drawer when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
but I learned at some point. I was not born with skills.
But there's also interests and skills in a way that, like, if you tell me, like, okay, sit down on this table to draw, and draw me something, and it not only it needs to be beautiful, but it needs to be like the best. That, like, I don't have much of an interest to do that, and I think that's the key as well. Is that, like, I love building processes in a business, or optimizing a business, or building software. Like, that is my art. That's what I love to do, and that I could spend hours in a day.
Zone.
Exactly. Yes, but I don't think I have that drawing something. It's also maybe because I'm not good at it. So you're right. Maybe if I was becoming good at it, I'd be doing it. I don't know. That's a good food for
We'll
thought.
see.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we invite you, your famous singer or artist. Who knows?
I'd love that.
DJing with Paris.
That would be amazing. All right. Thanks, Raph, for being here.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for accepting my offer. And you're one of the most inspiring people I know. And it's an honor to have you here. And I'm really looking forward to your next big project, big idea. I think it's going to be amazing.
We might have you back one day.
Yes, I'd love to. And I'll be definitely following, being in your community for the rest of my life, and following everything you do. And again, I'm so proud of what you've become. So it was really a pleasure for me to be here.
Thanks, man. Is there anything you want to share with people, or your socials, or anything?
No, I don't know. I don't know that I want to be. I'm scared of becoming famous and people tweeting at me horrible things. So, but yeah, no, you can definitely find me on Twitter or LinkedIn. Those are my two platforms. Instagram is more private for me.
What's the name?
It's Raphael C. Roy.
Well, we'll link it.
Yeah, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be linked somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you.
Thanks.
Stay tuned.